Hello, everybody. I wanted to send just a quick message of encouragement and thanks. This group it's been different. All the sprints have been very different, but this one particularly is different, and I think it has to do with just the caliber of people here. There's a level of just professionalism, and I'm not saying that the previous groups were less professional. I think what I'm seeing here is just a slight evolution or the group of people that have come through, and that is, people that have been in business, people that have had a similar background to myself. We've worked in corporate, we've worked in, you know, environments where we've had to go out and get sales, we've had to manage pipeline, we've had to, manage stakeholders, all that sort of stuff. And obviously, some of you've got your own businesses as well. So you know what you're doing. It's a marathon. It's not a sprint. What I want to just leave you with, so this will be really, really short, is just I keep talking about quality and I keep talking about just turning up daily and keep putting in the reps. For me, this is not easy, but I have a baseline, and that baseline represents itself through the images, through some of the copy, and some of the processes that I have on the back end. This has taken some time to get to, and if you keep this up and keep pushing, what'll happen is that baseline for you will come up as well. What this ultimately means is that when you start to attract clients who are lurking and you do your outreach and you talk, you already start up here and they're down here and the competitors down here as well. And so you will have a higher baseline than obviously the competitors and what the market is actually seeing. The other thing also is that what I've got here is this is my this is my landing page, my website, and it's built on card. It's nothing fancy. I'm not a web designer, UX person, but I've learnt how to work things out. I'll show you what it looks like here. You'll see that, it's a single page website, and I've got, different sections in here with menus and all sorts of things. But the point of what I'm trying to get here is that if you bring in the quality, what'll happen is that you can then repurpose all of these assets, and you'll see that there's a look and feel to this. I'm repurposing all my existing assets here. It's consistent with obviously my LinkedIn look. I've got the same color here. These small departures for me are hard when I change a color, when I change a frame, when I change an image. But if you do the work, you'll stand out. And secondly, your messaging, you will start to develop a position in the market where you will stand out from the AI and content bros. And one of the things that is really, really important is that you just keep going ahead and you find two or three people that you can just riff back and forth with. For me, it's Adrian, Clive, and Vernon. I just sent them a link to this, and I said, I just need your brutal, honest feedback. Like, if an ICP came here, would they have enough information to understand what it is I do? Is there enough content in here for them to go, okay, I'm curious, I want to learn a little bit more? Or would they lurk? Like, do each of the pages stand up independently? And it's not me presenting to the world what I think is right. It's me presenting what I think is right based upon the data that I've collected, and also getting peer review feedback, just because that's what makes it better. The last thing is, when we're coming into Easter, so we're coming into Easter Friday. It'll be a short week next week in Australia. We've got another public holiday coming up called Anzac Day, kind of like a memorial for our veterans during World War One. But the hard thing is that, there's so much advice out there saying, work less and be more productive and blah 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 blah. And I'll say this: nothing ever, nothing good ever happened from working less on something that you knew you had to get done. So if this is a passion project, or this is your business and you need to get it up and running, yes, work smart, but you know, working slowly and taking your time and not putting the effort in is not going to get you over the line to, a company that's got tons of resources and gets things done. And I know that there's arguments back and forth for that, but I want to say this: by turning up every day, you're doing a number of things. One, you're putting in the reps so that your content is going to get better. Two, you're showing to the market that you are putting in the reps and that you are serious and you're ready to play. And three, and this is probably the most important thing, if everybody is only posting on the days that, it's supposed to, that are ideal, then you have more of a challenge when you post on those particular days. When you post on a Friday afternoon, a Saturday evening, a Sunday morning, public holiday, or you've scheduled ahead, the internet's job, the algorithm's job is to go and find those people that are open to your content. And if you've missed a day, the internet cannot, the algorithm cannot send it out and find those people. So it's vitally important that you actually do this, because on the weekend, on the day of rest, at the barbecue, at the football game, on the nature walk, when your ICP is like scrolling through their phone and they open up LinkedIn and that piece of content is aired, what you're doing is you're signaling to them, hey, I'm here and you should check this out. And if they look at it, it might lead to something more. But that doesn't happen when you take a day off, you chill out, you do the suggested things that the content and AI bros do when they're regurgitating all of these foundational books, from years gone past. So I know that is a little bit sort of to like what modern people are sort of talking about. I know it's contrary to the whole concept of burnout. I'm not saying go and burn out or anything like that, but I'm saying there is a lot of bullshit advice out there, and those that are in business, those that have come from business, and those that are building a business know that the work has to be done, because if you don't do it, somebody else isn't going to do it for you. So remember, the algorithm's job is to go and find those people, and that only happens when you put in the work, when you turn up, when the quality is there, and when the quality is there, the bar goes up. You then have an unfair advantage, but it's not really an unfair, it's just where you start. And then what happens is you start to carve out a little niche, a little position in the market, and they go, oh, that person's quite interesting. And they scroll through your feed, they scroll through your website, and they'll see that it's littered with, consistently high value content all the way through. So this is where I'm at. I was just inspired by some of the last conversations that took place. We're coming into Easter. I'm pushing through. I'm not ahead. I don't have 2 or 3 days ahead, but I probably will look to do that in the next couple of days. The other challenge for me is I'm doing carousels. I hate doing carousels, but it has to be done because you can distill a bit more information into that document format as well. So with that said, have a great day, great evening. If I don't speak to you or message you in the chat, I will be watching. Have a great Easter and keep shipping. God bless.